Well, I said Johnny them for knowing up. From the mere device, them know see a damn tipper. And we tell you to stay strong. Live up, look up, hold your head high. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. And this is a special for the Truman Show. Motivation Academy. That's the far I tell them. Okay then. Don't listen to the pagans when they talk, cause they don't have no sense. Yeah man. Janik, I go teach the youths them to live them life the right and righteous way. That is what I have to say. So you man be wise, open up your eyes, listen to the calling of the Most High. Jaja will lead your way to the righteous way, to the righteous way. Listen what I have to say. Don't be a bad memory. Don't let the negative people drain your energy. No, no, don't be a bad memory. Don't let them stop you from doing what you want to do. Don't be a bad memory. Don't let the negative people steal your energy. Don't be a memory. Don't let them take your soul away from you. No, no, no. Keep your focus, hold your head up high. Do the things you need to do. Do the right things. Do the righteous things. Hey. Don't you lead to war. Janik will lead your way. Motivation Academy. Hey. Teach the youths them the righteous things. Let them live them life the righteous way. So youth be strong and hold on to a firm meditation. Hey. Don't be a bad memory. Don't let the negative people drain your energy. No, no, don't be a bad memory. Don't let them stop you from doing what you want to do. Don't be a bad memory. Don't let the negative people steal your energy. Don't be a memory. Don't let them take your soul away from you. No, no, no. But I just want to let the youths them know, that you must live your life the righteous way. Be a light to this world. You understand? Be a light. Don't make negative energy draw you to the wrong things, to the bad things, to let you do wrong. Don't let your memories be the ones that we don't want to remember. The ones that get us scared when time we hear it. Let your memories be something to live on forever. Rastafari. Don't be a memory. Don't be their memory. Just listen to your heart and do the righteous thing you need to do. Don't be a memory. Don't be their memory. Don't be their memory. Do the righteous thing. Live the righteous life. Hey, don't be a memory.
Truman International, Field Marshal, not partial. You don't know we are 5-star general. You don't know Motivation Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, you're in tune to the beat maker from Jamaica. Stevie Culture. Well, I got what it takes to rock the place. When Stevie Culture in the place, you turn up the place. People rocking all night with smile on their face, on face, on face. You know what? Because we got the beat to make you rock, and we got the boom sound to make it pop. And when I start, I never gonna stop. The one you're gonna take it to the top. Because we got the beat to make you rock, and we got the boom sound to make it pop. And when I start, I never gonna stop. The one you're gonna take me to the top. And you know when the beat start bouncing and then people start jumping, you hear the beat and you got to do something. Well, even the baby in the crib start bouncing. We're rocking the stadium, the bar and the club scene. I'm gonna drop the wickedest sound, making you know I am the best around town. Everywhere we go, we just tear it down. You wanna know why? Because I got the beat to make you rock, and I got the drum sound to make it pop. And when I start, I never gonna stop. This one is gonna take me to the top. Because I got the beat to make you rock, and I got the drum sound to make it pop. And when I start, I never gonna stop. This one is gonna take me to the top. Hey, the lyrics of the songs I sing, I don't have to edit. If I got to do that, forget it. True man make this beat so he'll get all his credit. Go tell your own world that Steve Culture said it. Making music is so easy. I'm a play my tracks for my friends and they all say, wow, you used to be sharp, but you're much sharper now. You wanna know how? Because I got the beat to make you rock, and I got the drum sound to make it pop. And when I start, I never wanna stop. The one you're gonna take you to the top. Because I got the beat to make you rock, and I got the drum sound to make it pop. And when I start, I never gonna stop. The one you're gonna take me to the top. The people of the fight and the beat and the energy. Everywhere we play, people always admire we. Buying up our CDs, coming to our party. Tell we how much you love our style and our energy. Everywhere in the world, that's Stevie Culture go. People want me to stay, they don't want me to go. Them screaming, shouting out for more, backing up the dance floor. Always need an encore. Because I came to make you rock. I got the one style to make it pop. And when I start, I never wanna stop. The one you're gonna take me to the top. Because I got the beat to make you rock. Got the one sound to make it pop. And when I start, I never gonna stop. The one you're gonna take me to the top. Yo, when the beat start bouncing, people start jumping. In the beat and you got to do something. Even the baby in the crib start bouncing. Rocking the stadium, the bar and the club scene. I'm gonna drop the wickedest sound. Make them know that we're the best around town. Everywhere we go, we just tear things down. Who tell them say, yo, 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 yo. Listen, we tougher than steel, tougher than rock. Concrete tough, but we tougher than that. Tough to the core, tough to the mat. Not backing down, cause we don't take chat. Move out of the way when the train is on the track. Cause anytime we start, yo, we never gonna stop. We rock them from to select up to head top. Rasta said that you know. Because we got the beat to make you rock, and we got the drum sound to make it pop. When we start, we not stop. We're gonna take you to the top. We got the beat to make you. We got the beat to make you rock. Got the beat to make you. We've got the groove. We make them dance out of them shoes. Wicked people get confused. Rastaman them cannot abuse. Them system we refuse. Try test the Rastaman, you know you are gonna lose. Babylon out the road, them get confused. When them see people dancing out of them shoes. Yeah, you hear the news? First time ever on a dope plate. This one a Stevie Culture song. Voicing for True Man Production. Watch it out. Hey, you better hold the joy and never end the joy. Yes, you better hold the joy and never end your joy. You better hold your joy and never end your joy. Yes, you better hold your joy and never end your joy. Watch out now, a bad mind, some bad mind, make them not happy, yo. A envious, them envious, make them not happy, yo. Grudgeful, them cannot happy. Can't sleep on like them and not feed fast happy, yo. See, I wanna try to make a food and you was happy, yo. See me with the things I wish that you get started, yo. You cannot sleep at night, everybody you a fight. You cannot stop to take a pump to watch your life. It's better if you hold a joy and never end your joy. Put your better hold your joy and never end your joy. You better hold your joy, never end your joy. Yes, you better hold your joy and down to end your joy. Hey, why are they so envious and bad mind? You always fight against your brothers when you see him above the light. Why always encourage him to stay forward, not behind? That's why your brother can be better. In a growing world of life, because we now hold your joy. We always try to end the joy. But you better hold your joy and never end your joy. You gotta hold your joy and never end your joy. Hold on to your joy. True man production. But we tell them again. We say we not gonna make nobody rock me up with happiness. Me a go seek up the kingdom and me always will be blessed. To righteousness I have access, and righteousness is what we always possess. Always do my best and make Jah do the rest. Never think of myself as being less, but always hold on to my joy and happiness. You know we never stress, yeah. We are gold with joy. We never end with joy. We always hold with joy and never end your joy. Hold on to your joy and never enjoy. Never enjoy. Pull out to your joy. Preach it to man and woman, girls and boys. Rest up and right. So that's it, I live and never die. Rule and the brain is up by you and I. Yeah. So that's it now. Human production and positive vibration. When I say number every radio station. This is like a wicked man intersection.
It's like a wicked man interception. Boom. Live and direct. Nick, your host. Motivation Academy. I'm back. In flesh, give thanks for life. Another beautiful day on this beautiful plane with some beautiful people. Yeah. Always back. For sure. If I have health, as long as I'm healthy, I have breath going through my nostril, there's work to be done. You know, boredom is a choice. Boredom, if you're bored, it's a choice. Because there's so much work to be done. Just on yourself. Just on yourself. Then you look outside of yourself, and it's immense. What I see, the work is immense. So to sit on the couch on distraction is a choice. It's a choice. No one come and force you to be distracted. And once you let go of those distractions, which is very important to also start working on yourself, you know, mastering the mind, mastering, you know, what's the best gratification you can receive is from this lifetime is probably personal mastery. You know, personal mastery is very important because then we're talking about mastering our thoughts. Mastering what we think about, okay? Because it's good to talk about truth, all kinds of stuff when you're with people, but when you're alone, when you're in silence, what does this thing do? You know, where does it bring you? To depression, to anxiety, to, you know, that's very, very important because this is what is going to shape the outcome of your life. What you think about. So what I think about is very important to be very, very positive because that's what that's a prophet. You reap what you sow. So if you always negative and again, negative state of mind, and again, everything is a state of mind. It's just to get yourself in that right state of mind. You know, to do this, all I need is the right mood, the right state of mind, and that's it. It's done. And you have to acquire that state of mind on a permanent basis. Like, it's got to become permanent, the positive thing. It's not something you have to look for each and every day. It should be boom, live and direct, positive. That's how I see it. That's how I process my life with much okay. And again, it's not so much about accomplishment and stuff. I don't think it's more about building that strength and building that confidence in yourself, that trust in yourself, so that you can carry on your journey here. Because the reason why most of us don't live our dream life that we want is often because of self-oppression. Self-oppression is very, very, and sometimes it's a silent killer. It's a silent killer because it's not something we're not very conscious. So if we're not conscious, can we even make a conscious choice with our life, or we're just acting with the programming, and you're programmed to work, and So, but at one point, it's just to look outside of this preconceived reality that what I think it is. I think it's our desire to fit in. Also, our desire to fit in is so bad, in anything. Like there is so much movement, groups, stuff with a big amount of people. Like people have problem to take walks alone. That's what I mean. Like we always default to someone else's path, or to create your own path, your own road. That you have to travel you have to go on the road less travel, not where everybody is. As soon as you find yourself on the side of the majority, whether on YouTube, someone said that, it's time to examine what you do. Examine yourself and examine what's going on around. Why are you with the majority? And even on YouTube, there's a lot of movement and stuff talking about all kinds of stuff. But, very often it's not even thought that come from us. So it's good to have internet. Yes, it's very good I think, for an upliftment and progress. Upliftment and progress always, but also we should not create more propaganda or nonsense. We should become very conscious at this point of what we have around us to lift us up. And if we are not conscious of that, probably the use we're going to make of it is not going to be for the benefit of us all. That's what I mean. So do something, make sure, raise the thoughts to higher heights. Make sure that in every action, every thought, you geared towards the divine and helping others. That's what I have in mind. It's not about my ego so much anymore. Even now I go out and I find myself sometime in crowds or stuff. Like I prefer admit that I'm the one knowing nothing, and that I have a very I don't like to brag to people and about stuff, and I prefer just be quiet and just I have nothing to brag about because it's so just to you gotta have a self-examination. So if you haven't traveled the inside realm, it's going to be hard for us to have a deep conversation and something on reality. If you have never traveled the inside, it's very, very important to travel the inside. That's the biggest traveler, the biggest traveler in the world are not the one that goes outside in the world, are the one that travels the inside and are capable to break away from fear, from self-oppression, from all the shit that hold us back to a tiny little being. Like we're also meant to be giant. Like we should awaken that giant within and I don't know, take our life to another level and really examine ourselves, examine our life, and what change needs to be made to gain that vibration, that higher vibration, especially to control your thoughts. Because even me, sometimes I catch myself in anxiety. Me, I have nervous tick. I catch myself in anxiety, and right away I try to rewire my brain. Why are you anxious? Why are you thinking of that? Like it's a big challenge to just control our thoughts, to just master our thoughts, to be always it's a training you have to do, but you have to do it. If you don't do it, it's good to talk, but it's you have to go in silence. That's where you will find access to the within. It's in silence. It's not with all kinds of noise and distraction around. It's a very noisy, narcissistic world. That's not where you will find the key to go within. That's the key to go without. To go outside, but to go within, you have to shut down the noise, and it's in silence. In silence, you'll probably find God. You'll probably find God in silence, or the divine, or the source, or whatever you want to call it, whatever label you want to put on it. Love, simply love, and forgive. Yeah, giving. I think giving is the key to forgiving. Yeah. But we have to forgive, for sure. We cannot be living in the past and have resentment and stuff and bad feelings and stuff. It's all about how do we feel and process life each and every day. And I want to have like, what's going on outside of me, the whole confusion and the lies. And it's very irrelevant if I cannot control my thoughts. Because what impact I'm going to have here? If I cannot control my thoughts to be positive because your thoughts have power, what? Mind is powerful. I think we can all know this by now. The body's crafted to perfection. That means the mind could reach that too. Why would the body and your mind and your it would be all different from each other? Like it has to be one. It has to become one. That's where I say you got to reach that state of alignment. Is when you're mind versus art and not the whole body. The I don't know. To me, it's a technology for sure that is beyond anything that we have seen here on Earth. The human body, come on, it's powerful, especially the mind, and you can do it anything you can imagine. Imagine how powerful the mind is. That's how powerful it is. Anything you think about, you can bring it to reality if you put your mind to it. So that's powerful. That's very powerful, but that power is there. It's accessible. It's right there, right now, within you, within me. It's just we have to access that power. And to reach that power, that's the challenging part, because then you got to face yourself. You got to face all your demons, your habits, it's like we got to be rewired. We got to be rewired for greatness, not madness. I've been hardwired for madness and dark all my life. So I just rewired myself now to freaking greatness, and I don't care what people think, what people say and stuff. I just do what my heart tells me, what I feel to do, and that's it. Bliss, love is action. Exactly, love, simply love. We're all in the same boat. Time to captain our vessels. Exactly. It's time, but most of us, I don't know. That comes also with maybe with a bit of experience here, and to realize these stuff that we have to master. Like it didn't came flashing to me. It's like I knew I was great, but now I know I'm greater than great. That's the difference. I knew I was great back then. I did great stuff, but now I know I'm greater than great. So now I'm going for bigger stuff, for really huge stuff. It's probably just the size of the goal that's changed. Once your confidence build up and the fears start to go, the size of your goal will expand also. It will become bigger goals. And that's what is good to keep you alive also. Like you don't want to stay on the same pace. You don't want to be on the same pace all your life. Like, what is that? It's a one-time deal, one-time experience. Do wild stuff. Do anything that your heart tells you. And don't. You know what? You know what's the big thing is because we care about what people think about us. That's mostly the reason why I never did nothing publicly in my life. Public, like just speaking, like what I'm doing now, is the most easiest thing I've done in my life. This thing is the most easiest thing I've done. Like I told you, I operate huge machine that I never thought I was gonna find a way to learn this. I did this. I figured, it takes time to figure things out. Takes time to figure things out, and time, when you involve time, you involve patience. You got to be patient. If you cannot rush things, cannot rush time, but most of us wants to rush to get to that finish line, to get the reward, to get that gratification. So we lack patience, and then we fuck up the whole thing. We fuck up the whole thing because we're impatient. So find back that patience is very important, to cultivate that patience, not only with your goals, with the people around you. That's very important. And again, that's mastering of that muscle of there that becomes of utmost importance. That's why I do these studying session with you. I haven't reached that state yet, and myself, I have to really get rid of some anxiety and nervous mood that I have. Like, I'm not super anxious, but I catch myself in anxiety a third of the day. A third of the day, I think of stuff that really is low vibration and negative, and I don't know. It comes in my brain like that, and I have to be conscious to really say, "Hey, what are you doing?" My thought should be concentrated somewhere else. So that's what I do. But it's an exercise and it's very demanding because you got to be present, you got to be conscious. Most of us are unconscious of our consciousness. So it's you just pretty much go on each and every day repeating the same stuff. Never. So it's very, it's just to be conscious and present with this life. Just that is very demanding. Very demanding in a world full of distraction. It's manifestation time, yeah, man. Think great, not small. Yeah, yeah. Think big, never think small. Mama say, yeah. You rock, Johnny. Keep going, bro. Yeah, I try. I try. I'm trying. Still trying. I will always try. I will always try. I'm just simple man coming with a simple plan to change the world. Change myself. Because can't change the world, can't expect change. You cannot even expect lighting up something in someone if you don't light it up in yourself. So you gotta be the change. You have to become the fullest of the story before you go lecture anyone on their ways and stuff. It's a like I will take. I'm being inspired by people that do great stuff. You know, you do epic shit with epic people, not people that sit on the couch watching TV, reading newspaper, and be lobotomized by the Matrix. Like, yeah, I'm outside of this shit. I don't need the whole thing is a fantasy. You know it. Now focus on greatness. Now it's time for you to bring to life what you came to do here, just like me. You know, it's anyway. What is the imagination? That's the part 8 study question with answers that I didn't finish. I finished the part 8 yesterday, but I didn't finish that. That was the last part. What is the imagination? A form of constructive thought. Constructive, not destructive. So if you can use your imagination for destruct, but it's not the real use of imagination. The true use of imagination should be for constructive and positive thought. The light by which we penetrate new worlds of thought and experience. The mighty instrument by which every inventor and discoverer opened the way for precedent to experience. What is the result of imagination? The cultivation of imagination leads to the development of the ideal out of which your future will emerge. How may it be cultivated? By exercise. Oh, yesterday I wanted to play a song. I'll play it after. I thought of it after. Yesterday I said, hey, I never played that song from Scaramucci that I was going to play. I'll play it after. How may it be cultivated? By exercise. It must be supplied with nourishment or it cannot live. Live. Not exist, live. How does imagination differ from daydreaming? Daydreaming is a form of mental dissipation, while imagination is a form of constructive thought, which must precede every constructive action. What are mistakes? What are mistakes? What are mistakes? I'm asking you. I'll let you answer. What are mistakes? Come on, Red. During that time, I'm gonna go get the song I told you. What are mistakes? We all rock. We all rock. Big time. And you guys rock big time for being here with me at 7 o'clock every day like that. It's a dedication. You like me, you're dedicated. For sure, it's a... Oh, I got it. Okay, I got the song I was talking about. So what are mistakes? That's what I asked you. Did I get an answer? There are no mistakes. Ha! I like that. But what are mistakes? It's also the result of ignorance. I think so too. The result of ignorance. What is knowledge? What is knowledge? That's a good one. What is knowledge? The result of man's or man's ability to think. But to think is big. Né? That is knowledge. What is the power with which successful man built or woman? I don't like this in the vocabulary when they don't say woman, it's just man. Like comme le masculin l'emporte sur le féminin. C'est un petit peu nonsense. That's why I always say woman do. Which successful man or woman built? Mine is the very moving force with which they secure the persons and circumstances necessary to complete their plans. What predetermines the result? The ideal held steadily in mind attracts the necessary conditions for its fulfillment. What is the result of a keen analytical observation? The development of imagination, insight, perception, and sagacity. To what do these lead? Opulence and harmony. You want to have harmony within for sure. And we're going to take a little break and I'm going to play you the song I was talking to you about yesterday. Great song, rhythm from my bro Scaramucci, not Scaramucci, Catchy Grizzly. Catchy Grizzly in Italy, that's his rhythm, the boat rhythm. I love it. So, we're going to take this one.
Where the days are coming, and I told you, oh yes, I told you. How long you was sit down and I look out the sponsor? When you pick it up and find out the answer. So much power, but I life them a conquer. And so you sit down every day and you a wonder. You must be blind or sick or wonder. Shut up your mouth, boy, stop chatting. The low thinking, it's stop that. Make use of the life of your man. Laugh and make him rich for you. You gotta wake up and rise. Anything can be anything. What you exercise, what you think about the most, that's what you'll attract. So always be prepared to face it because this is the fact. You tell them long time them no listen. So them to reach for them goal of listen. But none of them no see such a blessing. So them a sell them soul to the diamond and gold. Just because them want take control. Now them find themselves in a hole. No matter how the world is so cold. After the story has never been told. Some a rise them gun just for fun. Them we shot you down. For them say them got it like where. Some of them no matter them no care. Them no scared. They will kill you when they wear. I swear. Them say them kill people in a broad daylight. Them take all your things in the middle of the night. Them no give a damn where you go on anywhere. Them no care. Them no say. Well, laugh and take him rich for you. You gotta wake up and rise. Anything can be anything. What you exercise, what you think about the most, that's what you'll attract. So always be prepared to face it because this is the fact. The things you want, the things you need, work hard and get it. Don't worry about people saying shit about you. Don't worry who said it. It's all about getting what you want, they say. But you gotta be careful along the way. Because some people will take it away. Because they don't want to they don't want to work for shit. They don't want to do no shit. They just want to take your shit. No joke, that's it, no shit. I ask you what's wrong with the world. These little boys and girls, they don't want to do nothing at all, but they want to have it all. They make it breaks for you. You gotta wake up and rise. Anything can be anything. What you you exercise. What you think about the most, that's what you'll attract. So always be prepared to face it, because this is the fact. I know them I won't change the mind of the people, just to open up their eyes, and they can see the things that's happening in their surroundings. Oh, I'm trying to say, everybody pay attention to what's happening. Better days are coming, and I told you. Oh yes, I told you. How long you was sit down and I look out the sponsor? When you pick it up and find out the answer. So much power, but a life them a conquer. And so you sit down every day and you a wonder. You must be blind or sick or what? Shut up your mouth, boy. Stop chatter. The loafing thing, if you stop her. Make use of the life of your life. Well, I ain't making bricks for you. You gotta wake up to the rise. Hey, think you can be anything. What you exercise, what you think about the most, that's what you'll attract. So always be prepared to face it, because this is the fact. You tell them long time, them no listen. So them to reach to them goal of listen. But over them no see such a blessing. So them a sell them soul to the diamond and gold. Just because them want take control. Now them find themselves in a hole. No matter how the world is so cold, after the story has never been told. Summarize them gun just the fun, them we shot you down. For them say them got it locked where. Some of them no matter, them no care, them no scared. They will kill you when they wear, I swear. Them say them kill people in a broad daylight. Them take for your things in the middle of the night. Them no give a damn where you go on anywhere. Them no care, them no say. And I'm a man, well I've been making bricks for you. You gotta wake up to the rise. Hey, think can be anything. What you exercise, what you think about the most, that's what you'll attract. So always be prepared to face it, because this is the fact. The things you want, the things you need, work hard and get it. Don't worry about people saying shit about you. Don't worry who said it. It's all about getting what you want, they say. But you gotta be careful along the way, because some people will take it away. Because they don't want to know. They don't want to work for shit. They don't want to do no shit. They just want to take your shit. No joke, that's it, no shit. I ask you what's wrong with the world. These little boys and girls, they don't want to do nothing at all, but they want to have it all. But I've been making bricks for you. You gotta wake up to the rise. Hey, think can be anything. What you exercise, what you think about the most, that's what you'll attract. So always be prepared to face it, because this is the fact. I know them I won't change the mind of the people, just to open up their eyes, and they can see the things that's happening in their surroundings. Oh, I'm trying to say.
Yeah, man. Anyway, we go, we get girls. Rasta. How we go?
Oh, go.
Rasta got those girl a road. Them ask me if I chuck a with a train alone. I'm those girl a road. But a girl a say to me, she say they want me so. I'm those girl a road. Girl a put on girl a kiss and girl a hug and pose. I'm those girl a road. What me say? We got those girl a road. Anyway me go, me say me get y'all. Me not have time to watch night that stress y'all. If I not north, if I not south, it's a west y'all. When you feel say you're the worst, you're not the best y'all. Someone tell them a girl if them not know girl rules. Seems like them want go out on a girl school. Girl a sitting at them face and I treat them like fool. And not so real girl man roll. Girl man up girl a road. Them ask me if I chuck a with that train alone. Have no girl a road. Girl a touch a girl like this and girl a hug.
There's something about you that really makes me come alive. I just love having you around. Yeah. you, cause I believe in what we have, baby. I just love having you around. See, I was alone, living it my way. Never thought that I would feel like this until the day you came along. You gave me power, made me strong. Yeah. It's more than just physical. Oh, it's so magical. It's a feeling that I can't explain. The way you touch my heart, I keep telling you again and again lately that there's something about you that really makes me come alive. I just love having you around, lady. No, I'll never doubt you, cause I believe in what we have, baby. I just love having you around. It feels so right. See, I don't wanna change a thing. The connection we have, so much joy from when you look in my eyes. Got me feeling like a king. You're so warm and so kind. I'm so happy that you're mine, baby. With you I feel safe, with you I feel free. In your arms is where I wanna be. So anytime I need a friend, you know that you can always call on me. Cause there's something about you that really makes me come alive, baby. I just love having you around. Yeah, yeah. No, I'll never doubt you, cause I believe in what we have, lady. I just love having you around. Oh, yeah. See, I was alone, living in my way. Never thought that I would feel like this until the day you came along. You gave me power, made me strong, yeah. More than the physical, oh, it's so magical. It's a feeling that I can't explain. The way you touch my heart, I keep saying again and again, lady, that there's something about you that really makes me come alive, baby. I just love having you around. Yeah, yeah. No, I'll never doubt you, cause I believe in what we have, baby.
I love that song.
I just love having you around.
It's an obsession, that song. I think I have an obsession with that song. I just love it so much. The vibe is just so high. I'll never doubt you, cause I believe in what we have, lady. I just love having you around. There's something about you that really makes me come alive. I'm back. Okay, so before I go on my break, in this part, you will learn to fashion the tools by which you may build for yourself any condition you desire. Interesting. If you wish to change conditions, you must change yourself. Your whims, your wishes, your fancies, your ambitions may be thwarted at every step, but your inmost thoughts will find expression just as certainly as the plant springs from the seeds. Suppose then we desire to change conditions. How are we to bring this about? The reply is simple. by the law of growth. Ah, I love this. Cause and effect are as absolute and undeviating in the hidden realm of thought as in the world of material things. Hold in mind the condition desired. Affirm it as an already existing fact. This indicates the value of a powerful affirmation. By constant repetition, it becomes a part of ourselves. We are actually changing ourselves. Are making ourselves what we want to be. Character is not a thing of chance. Chance, about chance. Chance, I always said that chance was the good fortune you determined for yourself. Yeah, that's what I think. But it's the result of continued effort. If you are timid, vacillating, self-conscious, or if you are over-anxious or harassed by thoughts of fear or impending danger, remember that it is axiomatic that two things cannot exist in the same place at the same time. Exactly the same thing is true in the mental and spiritual world. So that your remedy is plainly to substitute thoughts of courage, power, self-reliance, and confidence for those of fear, lack, and limitation. The easiest and most natural way to do this is to select an affirmation which seems to fit your particular case. The positive thought will destroy the negative as certainly as light destroys darkness, and the results will be just as effectual. Action is the blossom of thought, and conditions are the results of action. So that you constantly have in your possessions the tools by which you will certainly and inevitably make or unmake yourself. And joy or suffering will be the reward. There are only three things which can possibly be desired in the world without, and each of them can be found in the world within. The secret of finding them is simply to apply the proper mechanism of attachment to the omnipotent power to which each individual has access. You have access to it. That's the thing. The three things which all mankind desires and which are necessary for his highest expression and complete development are health, wealth, and love. All will admit that health is absolutely essential. No one can be happy if the physical body is in pain. All will not so readily admit that wealth is necessary. But all must admit that a sufficient supply at least is necessary. And what would be considered sufficient for one would be considered absolute and painful lack for another. And as nature provides not only enough but abundantly, wastefully, lavishly, we realize that my lack or limitation is only the limitation which can be made by an artificial method of distribution. All will probably admit that love is the third, or maybe some will say the first essential necessary to the happiness of mankind. Love. At any rate, those who possess all three, health, wealth, and love, find nothing else which can be added to their cup of happiness. That's all I need. Health, a bit of stuff to go around, and love, lots of love. We have found that the universal substance is all health, all substance, and all love. and that the mechanism of attachment whereby we can consciously connect with this infinite supply is in our method of thinking. To think correctly is therefore to enter into the secret place of the Most High. What shall we think? What shall we think? If we know this, we shall have found the proper mechanism of attachment which will relate us to whatsoever things we desire. This mechanism may seem very simple when I give it to you, but read on. You will find that it is in reality the master key, the Aladdin's lamp, if you please. You will find that it is the foundation, the imperative condition, the absolute law of well-doing, which means well-being. To think correctly, accurately, we must know the truth. To think correctly, I'm going to repeat that one. Accurately, we must know the truth. The truth then is the underlying principle in every business or social relation. It is a condition precedent to every right action. To know the truth, to be sure, to be confident, affords a satisfaction besides which no other is at all comparable. It is the only solid ground in a world of doubt, conflict, and danger. To know the truth is to be in harmony with the infinite and omnipotent power. To know the truth is therefore to connect yourself with the power which is irresistible and which will sweep away every kind of discord, inharmony, doubt, or error of any kind, because the truth is mighty and will prevail. The humblest intellect can readily foretell the result of any action when he knows that it is based on truth. But the mightiest intellect, the most profound and penetrating mind, lose its way hopelessly and can form no conception of the result which may ensue when his hopes are based on a premise which he knows to be false. I love that. I'm going to repeat it. The humblest intellect can readily foretell the result of any action when he knows that it is based on truth. But the mightiest intellect, the most profound and penetrating mind, loses its way hopelessly and can form no conception of the results which may ensue when his hopes are based on the premise which he knows to be false. Every action which is not in harmony with truth, whether through ignorance or design, will result in discord and eventual loss in proportion to its extent and character. How then are we to know the truth in order to attach this mechanism which will relate us to the infinite? We can make no mistake about this if we realize that truth is the vital principle of the universal mind and is omnipresent. For instance, if you require help, a realization of the fact that the I is in you is spiritual and that all spirit is one, that wherever a part is, the whole must be, we will bring about a condition of health. Because every cell in the body must manifest the truth as you see it. If you see sickness, they will manifest sickness. If you see perfection, they will manifest perfection. The affirmation, I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, living, harmonious, and happy will bring about harmonious conditions. That's what I told you. I had a paper with those things that I had to keep in mind. Bold, generous, happy, and motivated. Boom! Live and direct, Janik, your host. The reason for this is because the affirmation is in strict accordance with the truth. And when truth appears, every form of error or discord must necessarily disappear. You have found that the I is spiritual. It must necessarily then always be no less than perfect. The affirmation, I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, living, harmonious, and happy, is therefore an exact scientific statement. Thought is a spiritual activity, and spirit is creative. Therefore, the result of holding this thought in mind must necessarily bring about conditions in harmony with the thought. If you require wealth, a realization of the fact that the I in you is one with the universal mind, which is all substance and omnipotent, will assist you in bringing into operation the law of attraction, which will bring you into vibration with those forces which make for success and bring about conditions of power and affluence in direct proportion with the character and purpose of your affirmation. Visualization is the mechanism of the attachment which you require. Visualization is a very different process from seeing. Seeing is physical and is therefore related to the objective world, the world without. But visualization is a product of the imagination and is therefore a product of the subjective mind, the world within. It therefore possesses vitality. It will grow. The thing visualized will manifest itself in form. The mechanism is perfect. It was created by the master architect who do all things well. But unfortunately, sometimes the operator is inexperienced or inefficient. But practice and determination will overcome this defect. The defect. It's a book from what is it? The Master Key System. Yeah, the Master Key System by Charles F. Anel. Yeah, Anel. 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 H-A-A-N-E-L. Charles F. The Master Key System. I love that book. I read it before here. I think I was 3 times I go through that book. I think it's the 3rd time we read it here on this channel, but it's okay. I will also read it again this summer on the side of the river because it's just we need to repeat these stuff. It's just very often I read a book, but it will get into me maybe after the 3 or 4 times I read it. Like really get into me the message in the book. Like at the first time I read a book, I don't get always the whole essence of the writings. But then when I reread it and like the motivation, the manifesto of Brendan Burchard, I think I read it at least 10 times. But it's to read it until almost you know it by heart. You know that's the thing. But yeah, there's books that are very, very. Look, there's great minds in this world. There's great minds, people that think and use the ability that they have to think. You know, we all have that ability to think, but we don't all use it. most of us default to other people thinking, not even thinking for ourselves. So not only we have the ability to think, but we don't even think. That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, you have to realize these stuff. It's not something. Oh yeah, yeah, that's the name. You got it, Charles. You can have it on free for on the internet. I think I downloaded this from the internet. I have it printed on paper. I think it was a PDF or something. He who has learned to bring the greatest spiritual truths into touch with the so-called lesser things of life has discovered the secret of the solution of his problem. One is always quickened, made more thoughtful by his nearest of approach to great ideas, great events, great natural objects, and great men and women. Lincoln is said to have begotten in all who came near him the feeling awakened when one approaches a mountain, and this sense asserts itself most keenly when one comes to realize that he has laid hold upon things that are eternal, the power of truth. The power of truth. That's eternal. That's true. Because you're forever changed when you set you free and you're free. You can never go back. There's no turning back. It is sometimes an inspiration to hear from someone who has actually put these principles to the test, someone who has demonstrated them in their own life. A letter from Frederick Andrews offers the following insight. I was about 13 years old when Dr. T.W. Marcy, since passed over, said to my mother, "There is no possible chance, Mr. Andrews. I lost my little boy the same way after doing everything for him that it was possible to do. I have made a special study of these cases, and I know there is no possible chance for him to get well." She turned to him and said, "Doctor, what would you do if he were your boy?" And he answered, "I would fight as long as there is breath of life to fight for." That was the beginning of a long, drawn-out battle with many ups and downs, the doctors all agreeing that there was no chance for a cure, that they encouraged and cheered us the best they could. But the cure, I think there's cure for pretty much every disease here. It's just, I think, sometimes... But at least the victory came, and I have grown from a little crooked, twisted cripple going about on my hands and knees to a strong, straight, well-formed man. Now I know you want the formula, and I will give it to you as briefly, as quickly as I can. I build up an affirmation for myself, taking the qualities I most needed and affirming for myself over and over again. I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, living, harmonious, and happy. I kept up this affirmation, always the same, never varying, till I could wake up in the night and find myself repeating, "I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy." It was the last thing on my lips at night and the first thing in the morning. That's very, very important. We got to do. I do this. Now it became Bhagavad Gita is deep too. Yeah, I'll look at that. As well as the Torah. Quran, I read the Quran. I read the Quran, lots of great stuff in there. If you're, like I said, if you have a bit of a wanted to know stuff, then you're gonna find it, and there's nothing hidden. It's just people that hide from the truth, but the truth's not hidden. It's in plain sight. Not only did I affirm it for myself, but for others that I knew needed it. I want to emphasize this point. Whatever you desire for yourself, affirm it for others, and it will help you both. We reap what we sow. If we send out thoughts of love and help, they return to us like bread cast upon the waters. But if we send out thoughts of fears, worry, jealousy, anger, hate, etc., we will reap the result in our own lives. maybe not directly of what you think about, but it will bring about negative circumstances or negative events. Like if you're negative, that's what you're gonna experience. We know that, but it's an exercise to just control the thoughts. It used to be said that man is completely built over every 7 years, But some scientists now declare that we build ourselves over entirely every 11 months. So we are really only 11 months old. If we build the defect back into our bodies year after year, we have no one to blame but ourselves. Man is the sum total of his own thoughts. So the question is, how are we going to entertain only the good thoughts and reject the evil ones? At first, we can keep the evil thoughts from coming. But we can keep from entertaining them. That's what I said often. You're probably not going to stop them from coming. They're going to come, but don't entertain it. The only way to do this is to forget them, which means get something for them. This is where the ready-made affirmation comes into play. When a thought of anger, jealousy, fear, or worry creeps in, just start your affirmation going. The way to fight darkness is with light. The way to fight cold is with heat. The way to overcome evils is with good. For myself, I never could find any help in denials. Affirm the good and the bad will vanish. If there is anything you require, it will be well for you to make use of this affirmation. It cannot be improved upon. Use it just as it is. Take it into the silence with you until it sinks into your subconsciousness so that you can use it anywhere, in your car, in the office, at home. This is the advantage of spiritual methods. They are always available. Spirit is omnipresent, ever ready. All that is required is a proper recognition of its omnipotence and a willingness or desire to become the recipient of its beneficence, effect. If our predominant mental attitude is one of power, courage, kindliness, and sympathy, we shall find our environment will reject conditions in correspondence with these thoughts. If it is weak, critical, envious, and destructive, we shall find our environment reflecting conditions corresponding to these thoughts. Thoughts are causes and conditions are effect. RiseNShine is the explanation of the origin of both good and evil. Thought is creative and will automatically correlate with its object. This is a cosmological law, a universal law, the law of attraction, the law of cause and effect. The recognition and application of this law will determine both beginning and end. It is the law by which in all ages and in all times the people were led to believe in the power of prayer. As thy faith is, so be it unto thee, is simply another shorter and a better way of stating it. This week, visualize a plant. Take a flower, the one you must admire. Bring it from the unseen into the seen. Plant the tiny seed, water it, care for it, place it where it will get the direct rays of the morning sun. See the seed burst. It is now a living thing, something which is alive and beginning to search for the means of subsistence. See the roots penetrating the earth. Watch them shoot out in all directions and remember that they are living cells dividing and subdividing and that they will soon number millions, that each cell is intelligent, that it knows what it wants and knows how to get it, the sacred mission. See the stem shoot forward and upward, watch it burst through the surface of the earth. See it divide and form branches. See how perfect and symmetrical each branch is formed. See the leaves begin to form, and then the tiny stems. each one holding a loft of bud. And as you watch, you see the bud begin to unfold and your favorite flowers comes to view. And now if you will concentrate intently, you will become conscious of a fragrance. It is the fragrance of the flower as the breeze gently sways the beautiful creation which you have visualized. When you are enabled to make your vision clear and complete, you will be enabled to enter into the spirit of a thing. It will become very real to you. You will be learning to concentrate, and the process is the same. Whether you are concentrating on health, a favorite flower, an ideal, a complicated business proposition, or any other problem of life. Every success has been accomplished by persistent concentration upon the object in view. So, to recapitulate, what is the imperative condition of all well-being? Well-doing. What is the condition precedent to every right action? Right thinking. What is the underlying condition necessary in every business transaction or social relation? To know the truth. What is the result of knowledge of the truth? We can readily predict the result of any action that is based upon true premise. What is the result of any action based upon a false premise? We can form no conception of the result which may ensue. How may we know the truth? By a realization of the fact that truth is the vital principle of the universe and is therefore omnipresent. What is the nature of truth? It is spiritual. What is the secret of the solution to every problem? To apply spiritual truth. What is the advantage of spiritual methods? They are always available. What are the necessary requirements? The recognition of the omnipotence of spiritual power and the desire to become the recipient of its beneficent effect. Thought means life, since those who do not think do not live in any high or real sense. Thinking makes the man or the woman. There we go. I'm done for today. So, right thinking, you know what's the what precedes well being? Well doing. So do well. Do good and good will follow you. Simple. And be a light to this world. Be a light, be a light, be a light. Not only a flashlight, but a light, powerful light. And you don't need the spotlight to be a light. So big up, Suzanne. This is a test. This is only a test. Man is 666. Oh, man is 999. Yang yang. Big up, merci beaucoup. Bienvenue, adios, amigos. Non, c'est pas un adieu. C'est pas un adieu parce que je vais revenir demain. Giving thanks for life again with you, beautiful people, wonderful people. And that's it. We're going to study a bit more and we're going to master that muscle eventually. It's going to... But takes time. Patience. I'm out. See ya.